Hey everyone, this is Lonnie. I hope all of you have a great day so far because you are the sweetest thing out there, and I'm back with another episode of Steins Gate, episode 7. And honestly, I get so pumped up to watch more of Steins Gate. It really gets my brain going so severely much. But before I do talk about this episode and possible spoilers, there will be a little artist promotion right here. So please be sure to check out the artist. Links is in the description box as well, where you'll find the link to the reaction video. And about this episode, oh man, I must say I really love this show so far. I mean, already from the very first episode I felt like, damn, this is gonna be a good show, this is gonna be cool to watch. And of course loving the characters and all that, I think that is so freaking awesome. And there is so many things that I feel is like mind-boggling so much with this show though. And before I do jump and talk more about this episode, I will go back on episode 6 where I got some comments from some of you out there. One was from Context that wrote, remember Okabe also knew who Makise Kurisu was when he first met her due to a paper he read in a science magazine. So it's not weird for someone to recognize her like Suzuha did when they first met as well, since Kurisu is kind of somewhat famous, at least in the science scene. Suzuha is a bit off, then again, so is Okabe. When I first watched the show, I was super suspicious about everyone due to the nature of the show, and I totally agree with that. And that is a very good point. That of course, that might be a good reason why Suzuha know who Kurisu is. Though I still think there is something more about it, though, that have something to do with the future and all that. And then I got a comment from, I don't know, cute signs and shh, that wrote hello on YouTube. Seriously, thank you. And then I got a comment from Owl also that said bacon is ultimate creation. Totally agree, bacon, you're the ultimate creation. Totally agree. But yeah, so thank everyone for the comments I got. Seriously, it means so much to me, and it really inspired me to do even more, because honestly I'm so very confused about this show at points. Definitely, for anyone that have been watching do know that it's very mind-boggling at points, and this gave me just more things to think on, because first of all, they managed to alter the past, so they switched the word line to the new timeline, which have affected it seriously with lottery and all that, even if it was the wrong numbers, well, one number wrong. And seeing the changes that came, no one remembers except Ocarina. And I think that is related to that he's using the phrase El Sai Congre. I think that will be like, you know, a magical password, you know, like that will anchor him, so he will still be there and remember, but not everyone else, no one else will do. Or maybe it's just a fluke that Ocarina is the one remember things like that. It might be just that as well, but still I think that is something to do with it. And then it was Suzuha's reaction towards Ocarina when he came down and he was like, he thought he was like brainwashed or something like that, and she instantly grabbed him and checked his eyes and said about, yeah, you're not chipped, you're not brainwashed. What is that? What is behind that? Because obviously there is something to do with. I wouldn't silly, as Context said, I suspect everyone at this point, because something going on here, and it could be like literally in the future. If Suzuha is from the future, that something like that happened, or maybe it could be literally that she got a message from the future that told something about that, you know. But I still think there is something about it. Is something about her that is a bit weird. I mean, as I mentioned, she doesn't seem to know the costumes there. I mean, when it generally with traditions and things like that. That I find is a bit suspicious. Maybe it's just me, maybe it's just me. And then of course we have Shiny Fingers Moeka. If anyone is brainwashed, she seemed to be the one. I mean, then again, obviously, if you're brainwashed, you don't really know about it, really. But it's something with her, how she is, that is so weird. I mean, how she like have this very, she doesn't really show any emotions, really expressions. She literally is like just writing on the phone because she doesn't like to talk, and when she talks it's very monotone voice, you know. It's like generally just speaking like this, not showing any real emotion. You know what I mean? There is something with her that is also weird, and the fact that she take a photo on Ocarina as a memento, I think there is something with that to do with that, definitely, because memento you usually take. I mean, okay, you can take it. I want to take a memento of my friend here, so I have it always with me and all that. But usually it is for someone that is not alive anymore, someone that is dead, someone close to you that you have a memento of, like a photo or a ring or something like that. That is like, I always keep it with me because it's a memento of my lost father or mother or something like that, or friend. So I assume that she might be somewhat sent back in time. I said this is so making my mind. I think it's so freaking much. I'm terribly sorry that I interrupt and talk a lot while I'm watching it, but and I do know that some of you think that is the reason, but and I'm happy for it because honestly I don't really know how others do reaction videos. I just go and do my own race. But honestly, this is something I really enjoy because it makes me think a lot. I already think a lot, but now I'm thinking on different things like time paradoxes, about timelines, about this show. I'm putting together my random theories about this, and most likely they are all wrong, but still I think it's pretty fun to do them and getting out all my ideas and thoughts about this show. And seriously, so far this show is freaking amazing. I love it, and the music is awesome. The anime style is very good, I think, and the characters, of course. What is carrying this show definitely is the characters. I love them, and seeing this entire thing with the time paradox, how it's altered. I'm still curious though. There's so many puzzle pieces that I wonder about, because there was some time when, you know, when Kurisu was murdered, like in the first episode, and Ocarina got a message to warn about that, and it was a scream. It wasn't a woman's scream, I still remember, because it was a man screaming. I wonder if it was not Ocarina that did that. Maybe he accidentally stabbed her or something. I mean, it could be just an accident and he freaked out and screamed, and then he sent a message back in time to warn her that that happens. Or maybe he was the one that found her first, which he technically did, but before that. And it's so messed up. It's timelines, and I'm so curious about it, because I've been told that I should be keen on watching the details, because some things changes. And I probably do miss a lot, because there's so many things going on here, and I'm really trying to like take in everything and just learning more about this. And that is something I really do enjoy with this science and things like that. I mean, I'm not a scientist. I love science. I love to read about it and seeing videos and documentaries about how they're talking about things, how they work and things like that. Even if I don't forget much about it, but still I think it's super interesting. And talking about space and time and all that definitely is one of these things that is like, okay, this can fuck up so many things, because I mean, time literally, I think I read it's the only force that move at one direction. It do that, and then it altered. So the timeline changes, and the world line, as John Titor calls it, shifts. And that makes me wonder as well, because when I'm thinking about it, Suzuha mentioned John Titor. It was her, right? I think it was. I already started to forget because I think way too much, but how does she know about him? Oh wait, it was because Ocarina mentioned about him, right? And she like picking that up. But still, it's something so highly suspicious with like most of these characters. Like, why do they do this? How? And honestly, when this John Titor guy, he writing that, we need to alter the timeline to save the world from, you know, from destruction, from being destroyed, from being this destructive place, this dystopia and all that. But is that really? Is that really the case? Because that could easily be, he could easily be a madman that is literally trying to destroy the future by going back in time. And since he already done that once, I mean, obviously he did that like 10 years before this, and then the timeline changed, and John Titor came in this era instead. Well, this year instead, and already altered the timeline. From what we know, he can already alter the timeline so that dystopia that he talks about, I mean, seriously, it could be anything. It could be like literally anything. And who said, when I think of, my first thought was that John Titor is Ocarina in the future. That is one of my theories, that Ocarina is John Titor in the future, and he writing to himself and things like that. And of course he can't say like, yeah, I'm you in the future, because first of all, that is a bit messed up and would probably just fuck you up. And then we actually have, I mean, John Titor could literally be, it could be Suzu, it could be Shiny Fingers, Mijori, Daru, literally could be anyone. Because we don't have any how he looks, or she. The only thing we have is that there's a man's voice talking when it's the text. But that is, yeah, that means really, we can't believe that is true, because it's easy to just change that, because since the name is John Titor, it's a man's name. But we don't know anything. It could be a lady, it could be a woman, it could be an old lady, it could be an old man, or whatever. Actually, we don't know. And oh my god, my brain is about to explode. But say that, thank you for watching so far. Remember to comment, share, subscribe, and like for more. It says means so much to me, and I'm trying my best to keep up with this, because honestly I love this show so far. And El Soy Congre, I don't know. Oh god, but thank you everyone, see you later on, and most of all though, have a continued super great day.